you want to hide a secret, hide it in plain sight. Did you know that there is a difference between the City of London and the Greater London? In fact, the City of London has its own government, its own police force, and even the Queen needs permission to enter the City of London. However, obviously most people don't know this, but the City of London is in control of some of the largest companies in the world, including banks. In fact, the Central Bank of England is headquartered in the City of London. The City of London, again, is separate from the Greater London, or London as you might know it. And in fact, it is responsible for washing some of the bloodiest or dirtiest money in the world. But this is not a secret because it's out there, it's in the books. So if you read, you probably have come across this fact and you know about it. But for someone, this might come as a surprise. And that's the point of this video. I will be sharing with you guys 5 books that will change how you invest in cryptocurrency. In fact, these books, I believe, had an impact in how I have been approaching my trading and investing in the world of cryptocurrency. If I didn't read these books, I believe that I would have made different decisions that wouldn't been as good as the type of decision that I've made that made me a millionaire at the age of 24 because of cryptocurrency, right? So these are hidden secrets. And in fact, one book specifically is quite dark. It's really, really dark, but it will help you. At least it has the most important, actually, fundamental principles that I believe are necessary for someone to know, especially when you're playing the game of crypto. Without further ado, let's get started. And of course, do not forget to hit the like button if you're watching right now. For every like that I get, I will do one push-up. Of course, I would definitely do it. And also, subscribe to my channel, Crypto Hustle, if you haven't. It's all about crypto and making money on the daily. Let's get started. Book 1, The Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean Ammous. This book covers the fundamental principles of Bitcoin, which I think in the world today, most of them are lost because not many people actually even read the Bitcoin Whitepaper. And I would have said maybe you should read the Bitcoin Whitepaper, but I do think the Bitcoin Standard is better than the Bitcoin's Whitepaper because it puts you in the place to understand what currency really is, what is money to begin with. And then it brings Bitcoin into the picture. And if you lack conviction, because I was with a hedge fund manager that I advised yesterday and a couple other guys, and what they seem to struggle with is to understand, a lot of people, not only them, is to understand why Bitcoin is necessary at all and what make people to say, oh, Bitcoin is the currency of the future, it will go to $1 million and on, and what makes good money. Because if you lack the understanding of what good money looks like or why Bitcoin is superior, if you look at all the properties and the principles, it makes you very fragile to the cryptocurrency ecosystems because there are so many flashing lights and exciting projects. But if you lack the fundamental understanding of what Bitcoin really is and what sound money is, and also the time preference that you should be opting for when you're investing, it makes it very difficult for you to win. So the Bitcoin Standard, first book that you should read on this list. Book 2, The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith. This book is considered the foundation of modern economics. All right, this book will help you to understand the basic mechanics of how economics work and how a capitalistic system works. If you want to understand capitalism, which is the world we live in today, you have to read The Wealth of Nations because it takes very, very basic concepts of economics because back in the day, it's a very old book. So back in the day, the economy wasn't really as advanced as we have it today. There was no stock markets or forex markets or cryptocurrency. So things were really basic, but those foundations and those fundamentals are exactly what gave birth to the kind of economy that we have right now. What I personally found interesting about this book was that most of the things that it was talking about were things that I considered just common sense today because we just know them already. That's how things work. But actually, there was a lot of thought that were put into some of the things that we do today or how the economy evolved to what it is. And like, if you understand things at a very basic level and explain it to an 8-year-old, it means you really understand it. So I think this is a very good way of understanding economics as a whole at a macro point of view before you attempt to enter into any market. So Wealth of Nations, Adam Smith, amazing book. And in fact, all these books that I'm mentioning here are on Audible, so I read them by listening. So I'll put the link in the description for those of you who want to get Audible, and also the links to all these books. Now, book 1 and 2 will give you a solid foundation of money, currency, as well as economics. Book 3, What I Learned Losing $1 Million by Jim Rogers and Brendan Moynihan, is one of my favorites. This is about trading, and I regret starting trading before I read this book. I wish that I had read the book first before I started trading, but I read it after. Actually, I had some losses in the trading in the early days, but it's all good. But basically, this book is a story of a stock trader, someone who was trading stocks in Wall Street, and they made so much money and lost it. And it basically, in a story format, gives you all the stages of what you go through when you make so much money, and also when you lose money, and the psychological aspects of trading. After I read this book, I realized that it is actually the psychology that is very important when it comes to trading, not the technicals as much. Technicals are so easy, but mastering your own psychology, your own mind, getting hold of it and dictating what you should be paying attention to be sane in the market at all times and not be conflicted by your own emotions, is what makes a trader so good and so bad. So me just saying it right like this doesn't help much. But if you read that book, it really gets super deep into all levels of grief, excitement. In a nutshell, trading is thought of as a very technical game because traders are always showing you charts, and charts are easier to explain. But this book, I consider it the human side of a trader, and I do definitely recommend to you guys to read this book. Quick pause and very important message. Everyone out there is cheating, including myself, cheating at life by using special tools to excel in life, whether it comes to cryptocurrency, whether it comes to career, whether it comes to generating passive income online, all sorts of things. The only person who is not cheating is you, because you don't know. And this is the reason why you should join cryptouniversity.network. Cryptouniversity.network is a learning platform that helps you to learn and catch up with everything that's going on in the world of crypto, NFTs, AI, and content creation. I give my own 6 strategies in that course that will help you to accelerate your cryptocurrency investing. How to automate your cryptocurrency investing and trading, how to rebalance your own portfolio, how to build a smart portfolio, and how to risk manage your portfolio. You're missing out. This is why other investors like myself are always outperforming other people like yourself who don't know. Go sign up right now. The link is in the description. Let's continue with the video. Book 4, The Black Swan by Nassim Taleb. So Nassim Taleb is one of my favorite authors, and I recommend that you guys read all his books. It's a collection of books. It's called The Inserto. And one of the books is The Black Swan, and this is more of a economics and trading related book that I recommend a lot of people who are investing or who are trading should read it. It basically changed my mind in terms of how I approach markets, trading, investing, what have you. And I believe that this book is solely responsible for the reason why I didn't lose money in FTX, because of the principles that I learned from this book. I applied them in my own trading and investing, and it has protected me from a lot of the collapses that has wiped out a lot of people in the cryptocurrency market. So it basically covers the concept of black swan events, which are rare, very unlikely events that happen in the market, but actually even in the world outside of markets, but they will inevitably happen at some point. And you always want to get prepared and to set yourself up for things like that to not be affected. Otherwise, you can make so much money and then lose it all in a day. I've spoken about this for a long time on the channel, that I know people who had $50 million that they made from crypto, and they invested it into UST, and they were staking it onto Anchor protocol to generate 20% APY, and they were living a life in Dubai, on yachts and flying jets, but they lost it all in one day when Luna collapsed. And I think the lack of the black swan concept in one's understanding of economics and money and how you should invest and trade is what contributes to some of those misfortunes. So I definitely highly recommend it, The Black Swan by Nassim Taleb. Book number 5, The Alchemy of Finance by my personal hero, George Soros. This book basically covers the investment philosophy of the man himself, George Soros, and it's quite dark, and obviously most people do not like George Soros, but I have read his books, including this one. This book is solely responsible for my investment philosophy to this day. In fact, I named my personal investment portfolio after George Soros. I named it the Reflexivity Fund. So he created this concept of reflexivity. It's basically, it explains relationship between you, your own mind, and the world. Because if you talk about the world and people, you're also actually part of it. And this is how markets work. And if you look at how the cryptocurrency market works, it's basically player against player. So we can talk about communities, for example. We're a community, we're the XRP community. However, it's important to know that you're also fighting against the same community for you to gain as much value as possible. So you basically make money when the other people in that same community loses. That's just how the design of money works. So there's definitely more to this kind of concept or philosophy. It's something that you will learn from this book. It's very short and it's very old, but I think this to me is the book that really put me in a position to be like, okay, this is exactly how you trade. This is exactly how you invest, by applying the reflexivity theory to maximize your profit, and most importantly, find trends and never lose money. So if you're looking for trends, reflexivity is the book for you. If you want to protect yourself, and if you want to spot certain mechanics or certain characteristics in the market that you might not be able to see because you're part of it, right? The reflexivity theory, it is important for you to read this book. So if anything, I would say the most important book that I ever read when it comes to investing and trading. I know a lot of people talk about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. For me, it was The Alchemy of Finance by George Soros. And if you don't know who George Soros is a man who basically destroyed single-handedly the Central Bank of England, almost running it bankrupt, because he made a trade that made billions of dollars. He made 15 pounds out of every single Brit at that time. So you guys check it out, The Alchemy of Finance, and thank me later. If you read these books and you want to share your experience with me, definitely write me down in the comments or send me an email and tell me what you have learned from it. In conclusion, if you want to be successful and make as much money as possible in the world of cryptocurrency, you need to have a solid foundation of economics, finance, and how the markets work. And the 5 books that I've given you guys will help you to accelerate and reach to that high level mindset that you'll be able to tackle the market at all times, anytime, if you read these books. Of course, you're more than welcome also to join my private Discord server, where I share my private trades and also other traders that I work with. Link to that is in the description. I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Love you guys, and peace.